I journal? I'm going to be very transparent with you and let you know that I have a love-hate relationship with journaling. Some days I feel like I just need to journal to get things out of my head. But then there's going to be days that I don't want to journal. I just totally dislike it. I want nothing to do with it. I'm like, no, get out, go away. I'm not doing it. But when I do journal, I use my own mnemonic, which I'm going to share at the end of the video, followed by an example. And like I said, those days that I don't journal and I want nothing to do with it, I'll generally do some meditation, practice some yoga. I'll go out and take my dogs to the park or go out into nature or even go for a run. Yet I know that the journal will be there for a later time when I need to sort things out in my brain. I've been journaling in my journal for a long time, for many years, like since I was 12 years old, really. It's been my escape from the hearing world and getting away from the expectations and the demands. And it gives me an opportunity to express my frustrations and think about things I want to learn about. Journaling has been my best friend, my counselor. It's a reflective practice for me. Although I do have a best friend, like a real best friend, and I've seen a real counselor before, the journal is there alongside me whenever I need it. You know, like 1, 2, 4 in the morning when nobody else is awake, everybody's sleeping, and I need to talk to somebody, and so I go to my journal. Writing reflectively in my journal allows me to explore that 20% of myself I don't know. I generally know about 80% of myself, but that 20%, I have no idea. And sometimes even journaling doesn't help me find out. I use it to observe my views, my values, my beliefs, areas for improvement, that type of thing. Journaling is good for you. I've read a lot of articles on people who do not get treatment for their hearing, so untreated people with hearing loss, and the negative consequences it has on their workplace, social interactions, their emotional well-being. Research has also shown that there's an increased risk for cognitive disorders like dementia. But I haven't found any articles on people who have hearing aids and have hearing loss or have hearing treatment. That's going to be an ongoing journal entry, I think. But with that being said, I use journaling to keep my brain sharp and to improve my memory. What do I use? I purchased my journal on Amazon, and I'll provide the link in the description below. I take the extra time to find that perfect pen, that perfect pencil, because that inspires me to write. And if you think about it, writing actually improves your spelling, right? Because you have to write to spell out things, or you can just scribble and make believe that you know how to spell it. I don't do that. I would look up on the computer. Maybe not all the time. When do I journal? I journal first thing in the morning, find myself a comfy chair after I make a cup of tea or coffee, depending on what mood I'm in, and I will write for about 15 minutes straight without letting my pen or pencil come off the paper. I'll just keep on writing. Well, I know you have to get it up, whatever. And I can generally do that because after a night of sleep, I've usually had a lot of dreams and I have tons of stuff to write. So that's the best time for me to write. How do I journal? First, I do not let it overwhelm me, and I set the mood for journaling. And the best way to set that mood is to tap into both sides of my brain. And the way I do that is on my left side of the brain is that analytical, rational, logical side of the brain that requires like the data, like the day, time, the day of the week, that type of thing. So I'll write that at the top of my journal. And then I tap onto the right side of my brain, which is the creative, the imaginative, the artistic side, and that's where I will doodle. It reminds me of a quote. The most beautiful experience we have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Albert Einstein. That basically means using both sides of the brain. I generally keep my journaling playful, free, open-minded, just kind of write what comes to mind. I don't hold any judgment or expectations. After all, I am trying to figure out how I feel and what's in my subconscious. And if you're rigid, then you can't do that, because that's in your conscious mind, that chatter monkey mind. So it's best to keep your mind open so that you can tap into the subconscious. But for me, please, no formal academic writing. That totally restricts me. I don't want to think about the APA formatting, that type of thing. No. As I mentioned before, I use my own mnemonic, which we're going to go over next. If you're wondering what the YR means, it means yesterday's reflection. That was my doodle. Before I share my method of journaling, if you have an academic mindset and you like this step-by-step process of reflecting, then you might want to go on the internet and look at documented models out there. But for myself, I use my mnemonic, which is open. It can be used in any part of the mnemonic. You don't have to be rigid and go by step. All right, for me to go in depth, to get insight within, I use the mnemonic depth, DEPTH. And I'm going to share them on the screen with you now. The first letter to my mnemonic is D for description. Write in detail about an experience or a situation. E is for emotions. And try to be true to your feelings as you write them out, whether you were pissed off, angry, frustrated, happy, or glad. P is for ponder. We'll ponder about what we know and what we don't know. T is for take action. What are you going to do about what you don't know? And then H is for hone it, how to apply to real life. I'm going to go ahead and share an example of depth with you right now. And this is going to be an example I experienced a couple weeks ago. The first thing is D for description. And this involves grammar police. This is a woman that I interacted with a couple weeks ago, like I said, and she corrected the way I pronounced something. I can't really remember the word itself, but let me think of a word anyway. Predisposition would be a word that I had a lot of trouble pronouncing in the past, so I'll just use that as an example. At the time that she corrected me, she did it in front of a bunch of people, and so E for emotion, I felt very embarrassed. I felt incompetent, perhaps even a little stupid. Then I went on to P to ponder. What did I know and what didn't I know? Well, I knew the word. I know how to spell it. I've seen it in sentences before. It's just what I didn't know is how to pronounce it properly. And then I took action. That's what T is. T, take action. And the way I took action was I went on to the computer and I went into Merriam-Webster dictionary and I looked at the little icon, the little speaker icon for the women voice that pronounces the word. I listened to it over and over again. I said it out loud several times, maybe lots of times. And then H for hone it, I actually applied it to life. So I took it back out into the community or social setting and I tried to use the word again when necessary or appropriately. And if there are words that you just don't think you're going to use very often, a good way to practice is to videotape yourself just like this and play it back and listen to yourself saying the word and compare it to the computer, to the Merriam-Webster woman there. And that's a way to hone it. Okay, I'm going to continue with my transparency. I journaled this content for this video over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And the reason I mention that is journaling requires patience, commitment, persistence. Like it's not something that you can do one time. It's one of those things that you have to try for a period of time. I would say for at least a month, maybe 2 months. I mean, I've been journaling for the last 40 years, and that's just crazy. I can't believe it's been 40 years. I look awful young, don't I? And over the 40 years, I identified and created a list of words that resonated with me over those many years. And I'll list some of them here. I hope that you're inspired to try journaling and come up with your own opinion and share them with me in the comments below. And make sure you try it. It's pretty cool stuff. Even though there are days that you don't want to do it and days that you do want to do it, that's that love-hate relationship. I think it's totally worth it. Keep me posted. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.